So, according to a report on IOL, I think I'll leave the link in the description box below. Those guys that hit the president's farm and made away with 4 million US dollars or 8 million US dollars or 600,000 US dollars if you want to believe the president, or we had somebody mentioning 20 million. They didn't mention whether it was 20 million rand or 20 million US dollars. Those guys could actually have been filthy rich, like rich beyond their dreams, had they been at the farm much earlier. Had they arrived and hit the farm much earlier, those guys would have been swimming in a whole lot more cash than they made away with. You read the article. I think I'll leave the link in the description box below. Then you can read it by yourself. So apparently, a probe by these guys, they call themselves Falcons Investigation or something like that. Apparently, just days before the farm was hit, apparently there was roundabout some 140 million US dollars at the farm, roughly around 2 billion South African rand at the farm. Guys, if these guys had arrived much earlier, because apparently, according to IOL, again, this is still allegedly, we need to be correct here, and we need not to mislead each other here. So allegedly, if these guys had hit the farm much earlier, they would have netted more than what they probably made away with, because at the farm was round about 140 million US dollars, close to about 2 billion South African rand. That's according to the insiders that they contacted. And this money was apparently moved just before the hit that happened at the president's farm. The money was there at the farm, and just before whatever happened with this scandal now that we know, the money, most of it, had actually been moved somewhere else. Crazy stuff. If you start thinking about, imagine somebody keeping 2 billion South African rand in their house. And they know, even when they're going to work, they know that in my house there is 2 billion South African rand. Imagine you walking around knowing that at your house you have got 2 billion South African rand. Crazy stuff. So apparently, according to Arthur Fraser, who blew the whistle on this whole thing, apparently this money came from countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Morocco, Equatorial Guinea. Apparently, when the president visited Saudi Arabia in 2018, he got some 20 million United States dollars from the Saudis, apparently as a way to support the ANC. And not just that, the Saudis added another 20 million United States dollars. We know those Arabs are rich. We know those guys are filthy rich from all that oil money, and they added another 20 million US dollars. For them, it's chicken change. So in total, from Saudi Arabia, apparently the president got some 40 million United States dollars. What did Saudi Arabia want in return? In return, Saudi Arabia wanted South Africa to not give any support to Qatar, because between themselves, Qatar and Saudi Arabia, there's like a rivalry going on there, which dates back many years back. So Saudi Arabia wanted South Africa to not support Qatar, so they gave them 40 million United States dollars, and they also wanted to build an oil refinery at Richards Bay, apparently. So it's still allegations, guys. It's still allegations. Read the article. I'll leave the link in the description box below. And then apparently the Qatari, or the Qatar, I don't know what you call them, they also gave the president some 10 million United States dollars, maybe trying to counter whatever the Saudis were doing. But oh no, 10 million versus 40 million. You do the math. But apparently the Qatar guys also gave the president some 10 million United States dollars, which apparently actually was received by one of the president's trusted guys, Bejani Chauke at OR Tambo. All this is allegations, guys. All this is allegations until it has been proven in a court of law and people have been convicted. All this is just hearsay, but it makes for wow. You like wow. And then on top of that, so now we have 40 million from Saudi Arabia, we've got 10 million from Qatar, and this is in United States dollars. Then we also get, apparently, allegedly, the president was also given 40 million US dollars by Egypt. We're not sure what the Egyptians want in return for whatever money they probably gave the president. It's still alleged. Learn these terms. So the president, so apparently, was, now we've got 50 million from the Arabs and we have 40 million from Egypt. Now that's a total of around 90 million. And then apparently the president also got another 10 million United States dollars from, that rich dictator in Equatorial Guinea, Theodore Nguyen Obiang Mangu, one of the oldest dictators in the world, and his family basically runs the country and they basically own everything in Equatorial Guinea, including the oil wealth. And those guys are living they're living large. You find oil in your country, you live large. And unfortunately, it's the oil wealth doesn't come up go down to the normal people, but the family, the Nguema family, those guys are filthy rich. So they can simply afford to give the president 10 million US dollars. Apparently, what did they want in return? They wanted the president to speak on their behalf to French authorities so that the French authorities can return the assets that they confiscated from these guys. Because you know what they do, these dictators, they steal money from here and they go and buy properties, assets in Europe, in Americas, in Asia and stuff, so that if things go sour in Africa, they can always catch a flight and go and hide somewhere. So France back in the day apparently confiscated some of these assets because of where the money came from, their assets from criminal proceeds, whatever. And the same deal happened in South Africa. I think I understand these guys also were buying properties in Cape Town, and I believe some of the properties were seized or something like that. I'm not sure about full story, but so the president apparently wanted Ramaphosa to talk to France and also to smooth things with South African courts regarding the seized assets. Crazy stuff. So now it's a total of 100 million United States dollars. Then there are allegations that then the president apparently used some of his friends to actually try and launder some of this money. But crazy stuff. If these guys had hit the president's farm at the right time, these guys could have made away with around about 2 billion South African rand. Crazy. Imagine that would have been the heist of the century. Stealing 2 billion South African rand. That would have been the story of the century. But Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know what you think about this. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe, like the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.